interview
This
point of view.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay, how you are going to give the project explanation, all those things we will discuss in the today class, the final class. Okay, so for example, if you have mentioned any resume, any resume, okay, starting the what they will ask, tell me about yourself, something like that they will ask in the question, right? Okay, so you have to say, you have to tell me about yourself. You have to tell, you have to describe about yourself at least 5 minutes, guys. So what means five? In the 5 minutes, you have to explain the what is your roles and responsibilities, and from where you are working. Okay, what is your education, and what kind of tools you have to know. These all kind of things you have to cover in the tell me about yourself, guys. Okay, for example, how much experience? For example, take the myself, Raman. Okay, I have 13 plus years of experience. Okay, on which tools you are the experience, which tools on data. For example, I can see on data warehousing and cloud environment, cloud testing. So you people, guys, you can see the data warehousing testing. Okay, because of the, you don't mention the cloud. So if you are because of most of the companies are going for the cloud side, right? So they will give you the KT. If you already mentioned the cloud in your resume, then they won't give, because of the, they won't give the KT. That is the reason just you people can mention the data warehousing testing. That is enough. Okay, so they will give the KT for the cloud side. Okay, and then what kind of tools you have worked on your career. Okay, what kind of tools you are going to work on. So as part of my career, I have worked on ETL tool or BI tools. And then you can specify the ETL tools also. The ETL tool is a Informatica and BI tool is a Power BI. Whatever you mentioned in the resumes. Okay, and then currently where you are working. Okay, working experience you have to tell, and your education you have to tell. So these kind of things you have to explain in the starting, guys. Okay, your working experience or your education experience, what are the companies are you worked on, so all the companies you can tell, and your education background. Okay, and then come to the your roles and responsibilities for your daily activities. So in the, as part of the daily activities, you have to explain the which kind of methodology you are going to use in your project. So what is that methodology, how you are getting the work, and what kind of daily activity, what kind of work you are doing the daily activity. So those kind of things you have to explain, guys. So here I can say currently I'm working on agile methodology. So in the so I explained the agile methodology. So in the agile methodology, what kind of components will be there? So sprint planning, right? So we have the sprint planning.
Yes.
Next will be Scrum call. Then sprint retrospective. So these things you have. Defect triage. Defect triage. Okay, so these things you have to explain as part of the daily activity. So come to the my daily activities like that. You can say the start with the daily activities, and currently we are using the agile methodology. So in the agile methodology, so the sprint planning, the day one of the sprint, we are going to 2 weeks sprint. Yeah, we are going to follow the 2 week sprint. In the 2 week sprint, in the first day of the sprint planning, they are going to assign the task Jira in Jira. Okay, so based on the task, we are going to start our test case preparation, test execution. We call it test artifacts, guys. So these things we call as a test artifacts. Test artifact means test plan. That artifacts is about the documents, guys. Okay, test plan, what you are going to prepare the test or test documents as part of the testing. Okay, test plan we are going to prepare, and then test cases or test scenarios.
Test scenarios, test cases.
Test scenarios. Okay, and then RTM. RTM is nothing but the requirement traceability matrix, guys. So can you please go on mute, please, someone? Because I'm getting the echo. Okay, so RTM is nothing but the requirement traceability matrix. This is very, very important, guys. Okay, why we are using for the RTM means, so whatever the requirements are there in the BRD, business requirement document. Okay, and then what are the test cases you have prepared? Based on the requirement, all the test cases are covered or not. For each requirement, have you covered the test cases or not? So that is the reason we are going to prepare the RTM, requirement traceability matrix. Okay, so each requirement ID we have to map the your test case. Okay, so test plan, test case, test scenarios, test scenarios, and then RTM, requirement traceability document, and then test closure report, TCR, test closure or test completion or QA sign off. So these kind of artifacts we are going to prepare as part of our testing. Okay, they will ask the question. So what kind of documents you are going to prepare in your daily, as part of the daily activity or your project? Okay, we have to tell these kind of things. The test plan, test case, test scenarios. Sometimes will be test data, sometimes test data, and then RTM, and then TCR. So these kind of things we are going to, and also test evidences document, test evidences. We are capturing the test results, right? Evidences. What are the screenshot, right? Those things also we are capturing. Okay, these are the artifacts. Next, so in the sprint planning, they are going to assign the task in Jira. So based on the task, we are going to start our test cases, test case preparation, test execution, and the test closure report. Okay, and the daily calls, the scrum call, we are going to give the, so every day we have from second day onwards we have the scrum calls are there. The scrum call we are going to tell what we were done yesterday and what we are going to today, and then if there are any blockers we are going to highlight in the scrum call. On the end of the sprint, we have they are going to conduct the sprint plan, sprint retrospective. Okay, so in the sprint retrospective, so they're going to ask for each team member. So they're going to collect the information, what went well, what not went well, and then is there any improvement for the next sprint. So these kind of information they're going to collect the information in the Scrum Master for each team member. So this is the things they are going to happen in the my daily activity. Okay, then come to the my roles and responsibilities are here. Okay, come to the my project and roles and responsibility. Project and roles and responsibilities. You have to start like this. Okay, the project will be whatever the project you have mentioned in your resume. For example, I'm just taking the one of the project, Garments project, that's a retail project. Okay, just I'm going to explain how you have to tell the project explanation. Okay, so Garments is a retail chain in US. So in the US project, and the retail chain means like our India take the central, how it will be central. The same way in the Garments also in the US, the shop name will be Garments, the mall name will be Garments. Okay, the retail project. So if you mention in the healthcare or financial something, so like that you have to mention your domain name in the starting. Okay, Garments is a retail chain in US. It operates more than it operates in more than 100 stores in US. They have the 100 stores information. Okay, so what you can mention here, we are getting different data, different customers data from multiple places, multiple sources. So like that you have to explain. So here we are getting the different customers data like retail data. Retail means who are the going to the shop and then do the transactions. Those data we call as a retail customers. Okay, and then over the digital means over the order online. Okay, and do the transaction. Those kind of customers we call as a digital customers. Okay, so we are getting the different customers data like retail customers and digital customers from the multiple sources. Okay, multiple sources. So an application was built using the Informatica, okay, and OBAE. So here the reporting tool, whatever the reporting tool you have mentioned, right? For example, most of the time I'm giving the Power BI. By using the Informatica and Power BI to analyze their business in all levels like merchandise level, sales level, stock ledger level, inventory level, and the vendor level, store level, so like that, etc. Okay, they're going to analyze their business in the different levels. Okay, in this report, I have involved the ETL testing as well as the reporting testing part. So like that, you have to give first overview of the your project. If you have more information about your project, then you can explain the more also. Okay, if it doesn't know more, then at least give this kind of information at least for 2 to 3 minutes. You have to explain your project. What is the project? What it will be content? So what is your business? For example, your garments retail chain means they have the apparels, okay, accessories like that. There are different kind of apparels and accessories, and then home furnitures. So these kind of business they are going to handle in a store. So like that, if you have more information, you have to explain the more. Okay. So as part of the my ETL testing, here this is the roles and responsibility. This is about the project. Then you have to explain the roles and responsibility. So as part of the ETL testing, I have validated the data from source to staging and staging to target data with different transformations or different approaches. You can say different approaches. Okay, approaches like job validation, comma, structure validation, comma, full load validation, and delta load validation means incremental validation. Okay, and also this is the next one. Whenever they ask, na, a valid of source to target data based on the mapping document, and like that, if you want, you can add the points also, and also have validated from source to target data based on the mapping document. And the report as part of the reporting, as part of the reporting testing, this is the ETL testing, and the reporting means BI testing. BI testing have validated different kind of reports like sales report, inventory report, vendor report, okay, with different time widgets like YTD, QTD, MTD, week to date, and this year, comma, last year, comma, PY, PY. Okay. So these kind of reports I am going to validate as part of my ETL test, reporting testing. So by using the with the different kind of with different approaches, kind of approaches like UA level, functional level, and data level testing. So like that, you have to tell the your about the project as well as the roles and responsibility. So this is the way you have to give your tell me about your yourself and the your experience and roles like that. They will ask the question. You have to say these things all these things you have to cover. You have to cover. Okay, clear guys? How you have to give the go for the your first yourself, your name, and your experience, and where you are working, and what kind of tools you know. your test management tools or ETL tool, reporting tool, and the databases, whatever the databases all those things you can give in your introduction itself. Okay, and then where you are working currently and previously where you are worked, and what is your education background. If you want, you can mention, guys. If you are any difficulty because is there any gap, is there more, then you can skip this one. Okay, no need to tell the education. For example, you are 2011 passed out, then you have only 4 years experience. 2011 to 2017, you have the gap. In that case, they will ask the more question, why you have this much gap, what you did. So in that scenario, you can just skip the education part. Directly you can go to your daily activities. So my daily activity based on the sprint planning, we are going to assign the task. So based on the task, so we are going to prepare our test activities like test cases, test case execution, test sign off document, test cases, test evidences capture. These things I'm going to do my as part of the daily activity. Okay, and come to my project and the roles and responsibilities. The project is here. So this is my project, and it's kind of retail domain. Okay, they're mainly they have the different kind of apparels, and the business will be apparels and accessories and home decors, home furnitures. So these kind of business they're happening the operations. They have the more than this many stores. Okay, so here they're going to extract the data, different kind of data, multiple sources data by using the Informatica, and then loading into the data warehousing. So on top of the data warehousing, they are used for the reporting tools, and then they're going to generate different kind of reports like stock ledger reports, sales reports, vendor reports. Okay, for the end user. So based on the report, they're going to take their decisions to improve their business. Okay, so this is what you have to explain in the project. And come to the my roles and responsibility. So as part of the ETL testing, so I have done the different kind of validations like approaches I followed, like job validation, structure validation, and full load validation, and delta load validation. Okay, and with the test cases I'm going to prepare based on the mapping document here. Okay, and come to the same way the reporting testing. So I'm following the different kind of approaches like UI level, functional level, data validation level. So here I'm going to do the validation by target database on top of the target database and the report level. Okay, then if you want, you can elaborate more. So based on the report design, I'm going to prepare these kind of test cases. So the report design as well as the measure catalog. So like that, so whatever the information is there, more information you have to elaborate. At least 5 to 10 minutes you have to cover. Out of 30 minutes, the time will be the 30 minutes time. Out of 30 minutes, at least you have to cover your minimum 5 minutes if you spend your these kind of things, guys. 5 to 10 minutes. Then for them, they'll get the chances are less questions they'll ask. Okay, take your own time. More time you can take about your explanation, project explanation, roles and responsibilities. Okay, then they'll ask sometimes they'll ask them, can you explain your ETL architecture, ETL your project architecture. Tell me, guys, if anyone have to explain how to ask this question, tell me your project ETL architecture. Then what you will say?
As sir, we say about job validation and this initial validation, some such things.
That's why you have to elaborate more. At least if you ask that question, at least you have to tell the 2 to 3 points. Means 2 to 3 minutes you have to tell. In which way you are going to tell? Akash, Arpana, Dilip. So whoever want, no problem. Because we are almost end of the class, right? Now you people have to start your resume. You have to at least, so if somebody at the point at the time of the interview point scheduling only, they'll ask the high level questions. So screening level questions they'll ask to screen the next level or not. The HRs only. So you have to tell these kind of, okay. ETL architecture. Explain your ETL architecture with. So here my project, I already explained the retail domain. Okay, so here we are getting the data from the different stores and different sources data. Okay, so these data they're going to by using the Informatica tool. So whatever the tool you have mentioned, right? So they're going to use the Informatica tool. They're going to extract all the data and then ingest into the stage layer. The first will be stage layer, and then you have to explain the stage layer. So in this stage layer, every day they will load the truncate and load. It will actually it will 1 day worth of the data is there. It will always will be truncate and load from the source to stage layer. By using that, they won't use any transformation logics here in the Informatica. Just they are going to extract and then they are going to ingest the data into the stage table. Okay. Again, on top of the stage, again they are going to use the ETL tool Informatica and then load the data of the stage data into target database, data warehousing. So here they are going to apply the data warehouse, all the transformations. Okay, they're going to apply all the transformation from the stage to target. So we are doing the validation from source to stage and stage to target. We are going to do the all the validations like job validation structure, everything we are going to do the like. Okay, like that you have to tell the answer. Okay, source to stage, then you have to tell the stage and target. I have the whatever the database you have used, maybe SQL Server or whatever the database. So both are in the same database. We have the stage and target. We have only one layer is there in between the source and target. We have the stage layer is there. Okay, like that at least 2-3 points you have to highlight in the interview point of view. Okay, any doubts guys here?
No doubt.
So about the project explanation and then roles and responsibility. So this way you have to convince the interviewer. Okay, if you have sometimes in the real time maybe more than one layer also, source to stage, stage to stage one to stage two, like that. That is depends upon the requirement, guys. It's not a mandatory. These many stages are there. You have to follow like that. There is no mandatory. Okay, that is the reason. Whatever you tell, the confidently you can say. I have only one layer, source to stage. That's it. Stage to target. Okay. So like that, you can confidently can say whether he doesn't know, right? What about your project? All those things he doesn't know. Just he's explain. He is expecting from you, so you have to know the knowledge or not. Okay. So in the stage layer, always will be there truncate and load. It will be 1 day worth of the data. Whenever, for example, in the same day you executed the job for 5 times, all the 5 times it will be truncate and load. Okay, from source to stage, and then stage to target, they're going to maintain the history. They're going to apply the transformation logics, and then they're maintaining the history data in the target database. Okay, on top of the target database, so they're using the BI tool, and then they're going to generate the different kind of reports. That is what you have to explain the architecture. Okay. So if you want more, then you can use the instead of source, you have the stage name. You can say the stage name. Okay. So realize my source will be. So you can elaborate more means my source will be Oracle, and then flat file CSV. Okay. From here to they're loading the using the Informatica, loading to stage. The stage name just I'm going to give the RDS, means raw data store structure. Raw data, like that structure. Yeah, the stage is a RDS is there. The name will be RDS. Okay, the stage layer name RDS means raw data structure. Okay, what is this is a raw data, right? That's why we given the naming convention RDS. In my project, I'm saying just saying. Okay, so RDS is there, the name stage name. So here the stage name will be 1 day worth of the data. This way I'm going to use the SQL server. Okay, and then here again they are going to use the Informatica tool. So here they are going to apply all the transformation logics. Okay, all the whichever the transformations are there. So all the transformation logic they are going to apply in the target stage to target. Okay, target is a VL, visualization layer. The name will be VL. I given the any name. You can, whatever name you can give guys, no problem. Okay, visualization layer. visualization layer. We have the VL layer is there. This is also SQL server. Okay, this is also SQL server. So like that, you have to explain your architecture. If you want more, then this is the way also you can explain. Okay, here will be ETL. Here ETL it will come the Informatica. Okay, here will come the Informatica. Okay, and then here the BA tool it will come on top of the BA tool for BA. Then they will generate the reports. Okay, so this is the architecture of the data warehousing. The ETL architecture means up to here. The ETL architecture. Okay, data warehousing architecture means up to here. This is a source to this is the end, from scratch to end. Okay. Next, maybe they'll go and they will ask the what is SCDs. They will ask the so how is the interview point of view. So first they divide the different kind of first they will divide our concept. They will ask sometimes. Okay, 10% they are going to ask the data warehousing questions, and then SQL they're going to ask the 30 to 40%. They're going to ask the SQL questions. Okay. Next will be ETL validation means process like architecture, what kind of validations you are doing. Okay, what if, for example, they will ask the about the ETL Informatica means Informatica, what kind of transformations you are used, what kind of transformation you have validated. That case you have to explain the transformations whatever we discussed, whatever you know, those transformations you can give. It's not they won't ask more in depth. Okay, for example, filter transformation, you know what is the purpose of the filter. Okay, what is the router? I told what is the difference between the filter and router. Okay, and then lookup and expression, and then aggregate transformation, and then sorter. Okay, joiner, important will be joiner. So these kind of transformations, they ask any question, what kind of transformations you have involved, what kind of transformation you have done, validation. Okay, you can say this kind of filter, router, lookup, expression, aggregator, sorter, and then they will ask where you are going to execute the jobs and which component you are going to execute. Where you are going to execute the components, which component we are going to execute the jobs in Informatica. Guys, job execution, where we are doing the job execution in Informatica tool, workflow manager. Okay,
Workflow monitor.
workflow monitor. We see the log files, not the execution. We have to start the execution, right? First, we have to start the execution. That will be job execution will we are doing in the workflow manager component.
Workflow manager, yes.
Okay, how we are going to means we are going to the start, right click on the job and then start the workflow, like that we are going to start. Okay, next job monitor, job logs. So what kind of logs are there here? Workflow log,
Session log.
session log. Okay, workflow monitor, that is in the workflow monitor component. Then we see the session log and workflow log. So these kind of logs are there. So all the information, the session log, it will be, you can any find any found issues, you can able to see in the logs, session log. Okay, so this kind of ETL process they are going to ask, guys. So at least 15-20%, 20%, that's it. Okay, and then they're going to ask, sometimes they'll ask the reporting. If you mention the reporting process, how we are going to do the reporting testing, means we have to explain the in detail. Earlier in the introduction we are given the high level approaches we told. Okay, same for ETL testing as well as the reporting testing, Java validation. Now we have to explain here in detail what you are going to do in the Java validation, what you are going to do as part of the structure validation, what you are going to do as part of the full load and incremental load. You have to explain in detail in the ETL process side. Okay, in the introduction you have to the roles and responsibilities, you have to approaches you have to explain, and then whenever they ask the ETL process, that time you have to explain the in detail. Then it will cover the most of the time, the 30 minutes of time. You have to take in more time. The questions will be asked the less question. Whether you have taken more time, you will get the less questions. Okay, if you finish within the 15 seconds, 20 seconds, the answer we are giving, then they will get the chances to more the questions, asking the more questions. Okay, the report process, maybe 10% they'll ask the report process. Okay, what you did the UL testing, what you did the function, what kind of functionality you have validated, how you are going to validate the data validation, how you are going to prepare the query, the target query, on which basis you are going to prepare. Okay, so these kind of things you have to explain in the reporting process. Okay, next will be the manual, guys. Manual testing process means they are going to ask the what is the sanity testing, what is the smoke testing, okay, STLC, these kind of things they'll ask, right? Software testing life cycle, defect life cycle, okay, or smoke versus sanity, agile methodology, agile, okay, and then retesting versus regression. So these kind of manual kind of things they will ask there. Okay. There, guys. Then maybe 5 to 10% maybe they will ask, or sometimes they, otherwise it will be finished these topics only they will ask. Maybe if you ask the Unix, they will ask some rare cases they will ask the Unix. Otherwise they won't ask the rare. Okay, 5% only. Okay, say make it the 25%. And the remaining 5% they'll ask the maybe Unix kind of thing. They will ask if you have automation experience. Okay, you know the automation. These kind of questions, the general question they will ask the 5%. Some general topics. Okay, like that it will be there in the interview point of view. The SQL guys, the mandatory they are going to ask the questions, the duplicate records, how to find the duplicate records queries, highest salary, highest, third highest, fourth highest or something. Okay, and then rank versus dense rank, dense rank, row number. They will give some scenario. Okay, they will give some scenario. So can you give me the row number, rank, dense rank numbers? Okay, they will give some scenario output. So this is my data 10, 10, 20, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay, can you give me the output of the row while applying the row number? What is the output? While applying the rank, what is the output? While applying the dense rank, what is your output? Okay, the highest salary, highest rank. Okay, and then union and union all set operators. What are the conditions? And the aggregate functions. Okay, group by and group by, partition by. Partition by are having main important will be joiner, joins. Okay. So these kind of mandatory questions, guys. These are the mandatory. So how to write the duplicate records, highest salary. Okay. How to delete the duplicate records. How to delete. duplicate records. So these are the mandatory questions they're going to ask, guys. Okay, you have to be thoroughly. I already shared the everything, all the questions, interview point of view question, everything I have shared, guys, here. The practicing I shared. Okay, batch 4 also I shared the class, whatever discussed in the classes, right? Where is the queries I'm going to show? Yeah, these are the queries, guys. Out of these, at least in the 5 here 15 or 20 queries are there. Out of 20, at least 3-4 queries they'll ask each in interview. You'll get these kind of queries only, guys. Okay, for the practice purpose also, I given the practice also here. SQL queries practice. You can go to practice this for. Okay, the SQL concepts and the explanation, ETL explanation, architecture. So everything we have these guys. The documentation here. ETL lifecycle STLC. Okay, everything we covered here. The defect lifecycle. Okay, ETL class. How you have to explain the ETL architecture, and then the big data concept, whatever we just read. In detail, big data concepts I given explain the PPTs. Okay, what is your entry criteria? What is your exit criteria? So more all the documents, guys. Everything you haven't shared the this one with the syntax. How you have to write the syntax Unix. What is the syntax also given, guys. Okay, each thing. Okay, clear, guys. If you want resume, please share your template, resume template. I'm going to add the responsibilities and projects, and then I'm going to share, guys. You can keep the same resume into your Naukri portal. If you want to share the Naukri detail once you created, okay, I'll going to do any modifications required. I'll do the changes on the Naukri and the Monster, wherever you want. Okay, the calls are there now. In the calls are more, guys. Just start your resume. Okay. Any doubts, guys, here till now? The end of the class is totally last, right? Any doubts also, no problem. Just give me a call or ping me. I can explain you, guys.